Morning, Tom.
Look at you. Look at that. Who is that?
I don't know. It's just an old picture I found with the picture. I searched for Norton antivirus mask, and it found a couple images of people wearing a Norton antivirus CD as a mask.
This was long before
No, it's
they
recent.
needed it.
Yeah, this is
This
this
was
is
years ago.
no. That's a 2003 disc, but I think that these were recent pictures or something.
Okay.
How you been?
Great. You?
I've been as busy as I've ever been. I love this.
Um, I'm using a different computer and I don't have control enough of with the light.
Ah,
So I'm not real happy with this, but I got to run with it now because I couldn't get my mic to work until like a minute ago. I plugged my Audio Technica, pretty nice microphone that has a USB adapter,
mm-hmm.
but it's still not right. It doesn't sound as good as it should. Nice big, whatever they call that when somebody's got pipes. When you're on the radio and you got a voice that's a mile
Boom.
wide. Let's see. Now I'm wondering. Oh, here, there. Now, what do you see? Just you and me? What do you see?
I see you on top, me on the bottom. Splits two windows on Zoom on my desktop.
Okay, so on the upper right-hand side, it says speaker view or gallery view.
Right. Speaker view is shown right now, which means it's highlighting the speaker, and there are only two of us. If I click on that, it goes to speaker view specifically, and it's the person who's talking is big, and then everybody else is small.
All right, that would be speaker view.
Right. If I go back to I like gallery view.
Yeah, I just clicked on gallery view. So I took our video from last week and converted it and uploaded it to YouTube.
Oh, cool.
And I didn't send the link yet because I thought I might edit it. But you know what? If you went on YouTube and just type in The Network Breakfast, 3 words,
I'm doing it now.
You'll get it. And it's like an hour and 14 minutes, the middle of which is Trina's wonderful presentation.
Oh, good. I got it.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I'm subscribing. So when you post more, I'll know.
Good.
It's got 6 views.
No kidding.
What it says. How to improve
I
business.
uploaded it and watched it once.
Oh, well, something else.
Somebody must have, I think there's somebody named, somebody commented on it.
Let's see. I'm going to click on the video and stop it from playing. It says recording on my screen. You got a comment from somebody called Call 4 days ago.
Right. So what I need to learn as we go is how to edit these movies, meaning cut out all the peripheral in the beginning, and also to put a little intro in it.
Well, you can. YouTube, I don't know that I've ever used YouTube for editing a video other than choosing the thumbnail. But you could edit it. There's lots of programs for editing.
Well, I have all of them. I have Adobe Premiere.
Well, are you familiar with it? Do you use it?
Yeah.
I've never used Premiere. I've only used iMovie.
Is that a Microsoft? No, Apple.
On my Mac. Since it's just the two of us.
I got to get way more control over my light than this. Because
this is a 2011 iMac right here in the background.
I see that.
And that is the one I've done some video editing. I loaded it up with some RAM and it's got several hard drives on it, but it is fine for doing basic video editing with iMovie.
I just turned on my overhead and that's way too bright. So I need more control over. Cinco de Mayo, 5th of May, and he's going down too.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn this off. Anyway, it looked good the other day, but we had full sun. Today I got nothing.
What's the room like? Is this a lamp that points down, or is it something you can direct up and have it reflect off the ceiling? So
Actually, I have a chandelier, and I have it at 50%. It didn't matter that I had it 100. I can also tell that the camera isn't quite as good on this than it is on my Dell IPS one, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
IPS
Yeah.
one. It's a way better camera than this is. But, you know, maybe we'll get better with it. Uh-oh, somebody's here.
Uh-oh.
Chrissy Myers.
Oh,
Who
I
is
invited her.
good for you.
I've been. She is the CEO of AUI Insurance, health insurance and employee benefits company out of Akron.
All right, and Scott's here too. All right, we're gonna admit Chrissy so that
All right.
you could say hi. It's getting cozy. Good morning, Chrissy. We're looking forward to seeing Scott. Good morning, Scott. There's Chrissy. Good morning.
You can unmute yourself, Chrissy.
Okay, I will then. How are you guys?
Fine. How are you? Thanks for joining us today.
I'm great. I'm excited to be here. Thanks, Jeff, for the invitation.
You're welcome.
Nice. If you will, if maybe I can get it from Jeff, or if you like, you could send me your email and I'll send you the invite every Monday.
Awesome.
Chrissy's a member of my BNI chapter,
Wow.
and we actually have a one-to-one later.
Small world.
Well, you know, I tell people what I do, and if they want to check it out, I invite them.
Boing. Hi, Scott. Scott,
I'm here.
good morning.
Hi.
We have Chrissy. Do you see Chrissy, Scott?
I do. Hi, Chrissy.
That's Scott Morrison, photographer extraordinaire.
Hi, Scott. It's nice to meet.
Yes, he is. Discovery photo, when image counts.
Very good.
I remember.
Scott, I was telling somebody the other day that I met you like before I moved back to Cleveland.
Really?
I think we met. I mean, George Gessick reintroduced us.
Yes,
I'm trying to remember how long ago we met. It was a long time ago.
it was. Because I remembered when George
My coffee.
mentioned about the send out card stuff. I
Yeah.
was like, wait, I know that guy.
Yeah.
And that was, gosh, I was at 2 studios ago at least. So, so is everybody surviving?
Oh yeah.
Good.
I was telling Tom, this has been the busiest time, like continuous busy time I've really ever had.
Yeah, not me. I've had one photo shoot since March 13th.
Oof.
I have one on the 9th of this month. And then in theory, I open up again for business, but they're not knocking down the doors yet. People want to get their hair cut. They want to, you know, go to a beauty salon and, before coming in, I would imagine. And so until the beauty salons open up, I mean, even myself, I mean, I have this great hairdo now. And
Some of us don't have these issues.
yeah, I was actually thinking about doing one of those my beard trimmer and just doing my hair. Just
I could put the guard on my trimmer and take care of this, but my
Yeah.
wife, I've asked my wife multiple times, can I shave it all off? She said, no, you have an ugly head. I'm like, okay,
Wow, that was nice of her.
yeah, I don't care.
But she's a doctor. She knows these things.
You know what? This isn't the kind of doctor she is.
I know.
I talked with Scott Gloger yesterday about
Yeah.
what this has done to the industry for photographers. And I said, what are they doing? He says, a lot of them are going to work for Amazon as, you know, in the warehouse. And this is going to cull this is going to get rid of the people that aren't going to cut it. And it's
Right.
going to make it better for the rest of you guys going forward.
I hope so. I certainly do. It'll definitely weed out some people. Unfortunately, it'll weed out a lot of the older photographers that have been doing it for a while because they just, you know, they're not as tech savvy,
Mhm.
and that kind of cut some of them out. people that, pay to have everybody do all their editing and uploading. And I think those people are gone for good.
Mhm. It would have happened anyway, just not happened this fast?
I think so. I know it was getting harder for those people. I'm taking over a studio for someone that was not tech savvy. He was a film guy, an excellent photographer, not a post-production guy.
Yeah.
So he would take all his files, upload them, and send them to somebody else for post-production, for uploading, and then he would take them back because he was not a computer guy. And it was very tough on him.
Morning, guys.
Very
Morning,
good.
Harry.
Good morning, Harry. Harry, we have Chrissy with us today.
Cheers.
Morning.
Good morning, Chrissy. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing well, thank you.
Earlier, I was telling Jeff that last week's Zoom meeting, I converted it and uploaded it to YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So we have a channel.
We have a channel now?
It's called The Network Breakfast. And you
Wow.
could watch Trina give her
Awesome.
wonderful presentation. The things she was bringing up, we take it for granted. And I thought a lot of it was very enlightening.
Put the link for the channel in the chat.
Thanks, Chef.
It has 2 comments now.
Okay, there's Chris. I got to tell him I ordered him a microphone. Remember, he didn't have a
No webcam on his computer. We talked the other day.
yeah, and he ordered. Let me get him in here. He ordered a webcam and he hasn't received it yet. I wonder if he can hear us though. And also Isaac.
Yay. I invited him too. Well, you put him on your email
I
list.
sent an email for Isaac.
And Harry, I think I gave Isaac your phone number, but I may have
Yeah,
given
we made contact yesterday. He called my office number and then he emailed, so I followed up. And he said he was going to try to make it this morning.
looks like he's still trying.
I wonder if Chris can hear us. It says he's connecting to audio.
There it is. Oh,
Chris, can you hear us? Of course, what's he going to do?
well, he's connecting to audio, so I don't know if he would.
He may be able to hear but can't talk. So
Right, but we can't hear his response.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Isn't that Verizon?
That was Verizon, yeah.
and then that guy got hired by
And
Sprint.
now it's Sprint. The guy. jumped ship
T-Mobile
and
is
went-
buying Sprint.
Is that going to be allowed to go through, though?
Oh, who knows?
Wasn't there an antitrust issue?
There could be, but they're trying. Good morning, Isaac.
Morning, Isaac.
Can he hear us or he doesn't have audio? Isaac. Of course, he can't. Oh, there it is.
Now he's muted.
Yes, he is. Let me see if I can unmute him.
We're doing our first
There
Rotary
you go.
Zoom tomorrow with the most untech savvy group you can imagine. I can't wait to see what happens there.
You're going to use
Yeah,
Zoom?
we did one too. It was with a bunch of people over 70,
Yep.
and it was rough.
I told them to do a test run of just the board with 8 people first. They don't believe in running tests.
Oh,
So this will be interesting. They'll spend the first 20 minutes trying to figure out how to talk in video.
Well, our main problem was people trying to turn their TVs off. That there were loud TVs in the other room, and
Oh, sure. Background.
so
Sure.
it was horrible. And then once they finally got the people to turn their TVs off, it was better.
How we
Yeah.
doing so far, Chrissy?
I'm good.
Good.
oh look, Lee's here.
Which Lee?
Jackson.
Lee Jackson.
Okay.
So one thing Jeff made me aware of is that my computer does not have an updated operating system enough to allow for the background feature. So I built my own yesterday.
Just like an artist. An artist would do.
Cool.
Very
Gosh, I
clever.
didn't even know it wasn't a virtual background. It looks good.
I made it out of a bed frame.
Wow.
Very clever.
Kind of
Ghetto
fun.
background.
Chris, can you hear us? No.
He's
Let's see.
muted.
He's still muted.
And Marty's got no video. Chris is saying something, but we're not hearing him.
I unmuted him.
Yeah, I can hear you.
He's on the, excellent.
Yay.
Chris, did you not receive your webcam?
I just got it last night. It said plug it in, and it didn't work.
Oh boy, I ordered your microphone, but it's not here yet. So if you'd like, I could come there and we'll set up your camera and microphone at the same time.
Yeah, I'm okay. Guess what? Probably came from China.
Most
Wipe with
everything
hand
does.
sanitizer?
It'll take us a while before we wean ourselves from Chinese goods. We may never be able to wean ourselves from everything that they're doing for us.
You got that right.
Yeah, too bad. But that's the way it is when you're dealing in a market economy that you're looking for the best value for whatever parts or services you need, and they're willing to subsidize and make their prices lower than everything we can get here. All right. Here's Rob Lord and Trina.
Good morning.
I'm recording this one too. As you know, I recorded last week's and I uploaded it to YouTube. So now we have a YouTube channel. So you could go to YouTube, although I have the link. You could just go to YouTube and type in The Network Breakfast, 3 words, and we'll come up.
I can put it in the chat again.
Where is that? Here's the chat. Let's see. That link you put in there is for the
The YouTube channel.
Barron's for
That's about T-Mobile buying Sprint.
yeah. Like Harry said, is that going to go through or what?
It went through. It's
Oh,
according to
did
the
it get
Barron's
approved?
article. It happened on April 1st.
Okay.
Wow. Because I've been a Sprint customer since, I don't know, the 90s.
I got off of Sprint when I moved back to Cleveland because the service wasn't in Shaker. Like I would drop calls inside the building.
That's how ours is. Verizon's the only one that gives me decent service around my house.
That's
Right.
why I moved to
Where I
Verizon.
ended up.
But I paid a premium for that change. Verizon was much more expensive than Sprint. It was
Yeah.
worth it, but it was much more expensive.
As long as you get good service, sometimes you got to pay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say good morning to Marty. Marty, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Okay.
Marty.
And Lee Jackson. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning, everybody.
And of course, Rob Lord. Financial advice from our Lord. And yeah. And Trina is still getting herself situated there. Her microphone is off.
She's waiting for the sun to get to the right space in her room so that she can have the proper halo effect.
That's happening to me. I'm using my laptop, and I don't have as good a control with the light that I did last week. So I just got to live with this for today.
All right.
Scott, you look magnificent.
Thank you.
Honestly, look at that. You look terrific.
Scott, you don't have to wear your sunglasses anymore?
It's dark in here. I'm in a dark room.
Oh, okay.
Is that literally or figuratively?
I was going
or-
to say not to be confused with a dark room.
It's a dark room.
Spoken
but not
like a
dark-
true
dark place.
photographer.
There we go.
It's a dark room.
Yeah. So I'm here. It's a good, the only thing I have is the screens from my computer.
That's the right amount of light.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Rob is gone. All right.
But I found a bunch of cool backdrops. So, I could be anywhere.
I'm in a ship.
coffee.
I see that your ship is sinking though.
It's the Cinco de Mayo.
It's the
Cinco de
Cinco
Mayo.
Yeah.
Emphasis
That
on the
one.
Cinco
I'm just slow. It's it's way too
S-I-N-K-O.
early for that.
instead of 5. It's
So fun.
Cinco.
Funny.
We got to see what's going on with Trina. Trina, can you hear us?
She has a note that's in this chat that says, "Be there in a few, getting ready for in-person doctor appointment."
Wow.
as opposed to a virtual doctor appointment.
Yes,
She
correct.
must be in the doctor's office.
No, I think she could just be putting on makeup. I don't know.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
My
he
mother
has-
used to say she would have to put on makeup so she could go to Heinen's because she'd run into people she knew.
because her doctor's at Heinen's.
Well, everybody's at Heinen's. I don't know.
Even those who aren't supposed to be at Heinen's these days still go to Heinen's. I ran into a Rotary member who had cancer surgery less than a year ago, and she's been there 3 times this week.
Wow.
Or
Wow.
last week. Not this week yet, at least. I said, Ann, I come up here to do shopping for other people. I can get your stuff. I like to get out. No mask.
Masks are to protect other people from you. They don't
Right.
protect you from other people.
I understand that.
Any Trader Joe shoppers out there?
Or they protect you from other people. Not that's whatever, you know.
Whatever. Point is, my understanding is if you've had cancer surgery less than a year ago, you would be in an at-risk group.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And if there's other options, including no-cost options, you should take those.
It's really dark.
Are there any Trader
Yep, I'm in that
out there?
high-risk group, so I am staying home. I'm avoiding everything.
Can I turn the light on?
So am I, but I have to be out every day.
Yeah.
All right. What am I
Good
looking
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Let's see. I
Hey,
copied-
Jeff.
Let me see.
Bruce says hello. And your friend from yesterday, William,
Bill.
Stop.
Yeah.
Billy, stopped by with my N95 masks last night.
Cool. He's a nice guy. He lives close.
Yeah, he's a chatter. I mean, it was like an hour. I had to excuse myself.
Yes, but he's very funny. He is funny.
Well, he went down to the studio with Bruce and
Oh, well, they have I forgot that.
that
connection.
music.
I made that. He's also a stand-up comedian and he's involved with the film commission and things like that.
He's all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Grossman. Yeah.
I know him.
Everybody knows Bill.
So do I.
I thought Ari would
Mitzvahs
be
and
here
yeah, a lot
because
with the
Ari
film
wrote.
commission and a lot with movies. He's in a lot of movies that we've worked on. Extra
Yep.
work.
Well, he's involved in a lot of things. I've known him for years. Our kids were at the Ratner School together. Good morning, Sue.
Yeah, that's what he said. Good morning, Sue.
You're muted.
Oh. Hey, Sue, I changed my background for you.
Sue, you're muted.
Muted.
Sue's muted.
Right.
There you
There
go.
you go.
No, I like it a lot. I liked yesterday's too, but I like it a lot.
Well, the lighting and changing the sun is behind me now. The windows are behind me. Sorry,
Okay.
it's barking. Hold on.
It's
The
always
world we live in.
Wow, what a realistic background she's using.
All right. Mine's realistic. I think.
tag me on.
Good morning, Susan Nelson. This is Tom Basie.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Very good. Thank you so much for dropping in.
Oh, I apologize for being late, but Jeff's been bragging about you all for so long. I just have wanted to get in and meet you.
Excellent. Yeah, I want to remind everybody that last week I set up a YouTube channel, so you could go to YouTube and type in the Network Breakfast, and there'll be a channel there that you can subscribe to. And we only have one video because this is our 3rd week. So, and from me watching the rerun,
Was that me?
Yes.
that
Oh,
yes,
wow.
that was yours last week.
You're famous
Very-
now. You're on
I got-
YouTube.
I
Oh,
want to
boy.
congratulate you on doing a wonderful job.
It was great.
Unlike me, I wasn't very good, but you were excellent.
Oh, thank you.
And as you watch the video, at least the part where you took over, it was very good.
Oh,
And
thank you.
it was amazing how the things that you talk about and bring up and know about are things that we should be considering all the time. And it really makes a difference. So I urge everybody to go there and watch Trina's presentation last week from our Zoom meeting. It's very good.
Supposed to do it again on Monday at the virtual launch house. But I told Jeff I added a few more slides that I forgot. And thank you, Harry, for my age 4 slip. And so that way he won't be bored. I added a few more slides for Monday to do it again.
Very good. I'm sure it'll be excellent.
Speaking about doing a fabulous job, I want to thank Scott. He did some wonderful pictures for me for a condo listing that I had. And he took so many good pictures, it was hard to narrow it down to the allowable 35 I was supposed to use. But we've had 6 showings and 2 offers within 3 or 4 days.
That's wonderful.
That's amazing. That's great news.
His pictures were
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Scott, he's a good one. He's
It was
a good
great
one.
to get out and get to work. That was my first job since March 13th. So
Oh my.
Scott,
Yeah,
you
this
can-
I wanted to talk about that particular kind of thing, how this has hurt some of us and crippled some of us, and others. I think Jeff told me earlier that he's still rolling along like always, except for all the people that miss you at Jack's on Wednesday. I mean, that's something. And for me, it's been, I can't go to Breckenridge. I have about 20 customers there that sort of rotate in what they need. And of course, I help them with their TVs and with their phones, as well as computers. And it's been deemed, and I probably would agree, that it's non-essential. Whereas 2 of my customers, friends, have, what's that called when they go there every day? It's like visiting angels. And they're there every day, but apparently because of their physical condition, it's deemed essential. She couldn't get around without them. So they're there every day, and apparently there's somebody at the door. I don't know this, I haven't been there, but there's somebody at the door checking everybody's temperature on the way in.
Yeah.
So I'm not, although they've called me and asked me how I'm doing, 5 or 6 of them have called, and but I can't go there to help them. So they're going through this past, how long has it been? 2.5 months, 3 months? So if they have any issues with their computers, for them, it's deemed non-essential. So it's taken them right out of my workload, which, I'll be all right. I still have companies that I go to that are deemed essential. So I'm doing okay. But I know Scott has been hit pretty hard.
very hard.
Yeah.
And mine continues into the future because a lot of weddings and things, I've had
That's
31 events cancel. This is up through August.
I was thinking about when Tom, you put those topics up. It's
They're going
we've been having that conversation too, because my wife's president of a horse trainers association, but their shows and then their banquets always at the end of the year.
Sure.
And even our group, I don't know when our group's going to be able to get together, because to maintain the 6 feet space is just not going to happen in a restaurant. So a lot of industries are going to be facing long-term changes. The restaurant business is going to get destroyed unless something happens, because you're all of a sudden taking an industry like that and saying you're going to have to reduce your potential revenue by 50%. I mean, they're not going to let them come back at full capacity till there's a vaccine, and a vaccine, for the most part, they think is 12 to 18 months out. But yeah, some of this is short term, but I don't know how you're going to fix the long-term economic issues.
So you're thinking
I'm
Corky's,
not giving up hope. Don't get me wrong. That's not my attitude.
right?
It's just, I think technology might have a lot to do with some of it.
Yeah. Well, what's it, Kenny, the guy that
Right.
owns / manages,
Yeah,
he
Kenny.
may reevaluate that whole thing if if he's only allowed to do 50%, he may not open that room to us in the back.
Right. That's what the thought is.
You know, and if he gets along without it, okay, at least in the short term, it may go away for us forever, which would be a shame. But, you know, that's part of what's going to change, things beyond our control that are going to change. I mean, I hope someday to be able to shake hands with people and hug
Right.
people again. And,
Right.
you know, right now it's like we got masks, at least those that want to wear them.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's how this affects us. This has been a real kick in the teeth. This is no fly by night fast thing in and out. Like
Right.
Scott said, this is especially for him because weddings are booked sometimes a year or more in advance.
Yep.
So this could affect Scott, his livelihood for a year or more, even if everything started up today.
But Scott,
which
I
is
heard
a
you mention,
shame.
I'm sorry. Scott, I heard you mention earlier though, but some of the things that you're doing, like you're helping another photographer who can adapt to technology or
Yes.
can't, or doesn't want to. So I think that's what's going to happen is you're just going to see a lot of movement and a lot of creativity and ways to do things differently. I mean, whether it's digital signings of documents instead of literally have to sitting in a nursing home. And I know what you do, Tom, you have to be on site, but there's no reason that I couldn't have somebody digitally sign a document in their administrator's office and witness it digitally and it be a valid document, except for the fact that Ohio's laws don't let you do that.
Well,
I'm talking
didn't
about a
the-
will. A will's one of the few documents in Ohio must physically be viewed to be signed. It has to be viewed by two people. I think you'll see that law change here.
As a notary, they said that we can notarize if we witness them signing it over video now.
Yeah, they've relaxed that rule.
Yeah.
How do you indicate that it's been authorized by a notary without the actual ink stamp or impression stamp?
Well, you do. Well, right now you're doing. So the way another attorney I work with, Meg, is doing it, she literally does drive-by signings. They will meet in a parking lot. They'll wear gloves. They'll hand the clipboard over. She'll watch them sign it either through a window and then give it back to her and she'll notarize it or whatever. At some point, I think they're just going to have to rely either on digital signatures, DocuSign or some of these other technologies, or you would witness it visually. And then the notary, again, she is attesting to the fact that they witnessed it. They would send you the document back and then you would stamp it physically and then submit it to the recorder or whoever gets it.
That
They're
was
gonna
my
have to change all
understanding
that.
of it also.
Yeah, that's what I believe is the case too. She's way more up on it than I am, but you know, a lot of those things are going to have to change. And again, even with the restaurants, I think you'll see them expanding takeout options because of this. They have to do it now
Yeah.
if they want to keep some money coming in, whether it's adding a food truck. So if you're going to lose revenue on walk-ins, then you need to expand takeout. You come up with a food truck, you can do some other things. And there's certainly going to be contraction in the industry.
Yeah. Well, I think Corky's is already doing quite up until now, a lot of takeout. And you know that girl that sits right outside our door and she's always putting like
Right.
aluminum foil on cardboard. And
Yes.
well, that's for like sandwiches and stuff like that they're going to send somewhere.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm sure it's still hurting his business not having customers inside. But if you know, I mean, as we go into our meeting, the place is never packed. There's maybe
Right.
20, 30 people. So I'm not sure how this affected him. And I certainly hope it doesn't affect our room in the back. Well, we'll find out when things open up, and apparently maybe by the end of the month or the end of next month. But if he only goes 50% and if we can only do 10, you know, I don't know if he's going to count everybody in our room, but we'll have to wait and see. It's one of those things that the world will never be the same for us. So we'll just have to see how it goes. and we're going to hope for the best. And you know, it seems like we're staying together pretty good. And now that we have the Zoom meetings, and I'm so happy to see Shalom. Good morning, Shalom.
Good morning. Hi, Tom.
How are you?
Hello, friends. Good morning.
You know,
Tom, I did try to order from Kenny Kurland at the beginning of this, maybe in the middle of March. And he said, you know, I can't provide any more trays like that. And he sent me to one of his competitors across the street.
I think he actually shut down.
Really?
Right. And then he donated his meats and all to the food bank. I mean, he really, he did a hard close.
Oh my.
Yeah, I don't see any cars out in front. I drive by there.
No, it's completely,
almost every day.
shut down.
it's totally shut down right now.
Yeah,
What
I
he's
haven't been
hoping
by
is
there.
that he's going to be able to open back up at some point and rehire a bunch of that staff, but he had to furlough them.
Well, isn't there supposed to be some monetary help from Ohio or the feds or somebody?
Yes. I mean, look, I
Trying to get
applied
it.
for it for my business. In fact, they gave me a number and all. Key Bank said, oh yeah, we're going to be able to lend you some PPP dollars. But that was, I think, 16 business days ago so far.
And
The rule with the feds, you have to disperse the money within 10 days. We're still waiting.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, earlier I was talking about the fact that I can't go to Breckenridge with my customers and friends that I have there, but Visiting Angels still is allowed to go there. So
We are
I'm
allowed
sure
as
this
well,
has
Tom.
impacted your. I mean, that's your business.
Right,
I mean,
Tom, I am allowed to still go to the facilities that we've been serving regularly.
Sure.
But honestly, our business is still continuing to contract because when you think about a new client coming to us, it would be almost like having like a beautician come into the house or something like that. There, you know, everybody's worried and with good reason. So, but another building very similar to Breckenridge in that same neighborhood called and said, you know, Shalom, we haven't seen you out here in a while. We know what you do. We have one of your competitors here and they do a fine job, but we need you as well. And so I'm going to be visiting them later today. But I said, I don't want to come in the building. So we're going to have a little tailgate party in the parking lot.
Sure. Isn't that something? Fortunately, I mean, you know, it's not a huge slice of my business, but it is substantial. Any money at all at this time is substantial. But you know, I'm weathering the storm, as it were. It's not like Scott, who's had almost all of his business taken away from him.
Yep.
Which is terrible.
Well, Tommy,
Let's
Tommy,
Trina.
It's too bad you can't, because I'm sure for some of those people, their connection to the outside world through their computer is really important to them.
Yes, but what I heard was the actual facility itself doesn't deem it essential to their, because they have nurses that are there and they have a radio they can listen to or a TV that'll go on because they have Spectrum as their cable company. But you're right. If their internet goes out in their house, the only thing they could do is call Spectrum because they'll let them in because they're the cable provider. But I have not been able to get access, and that's a shame. Maybe when this loosens up in a few more weeks, I mean, I hope they don't wait till there's a vaccine, because I think Harry said 12 or 18 months or something. So, you know, I don't know that we can ever be 100% safe with anything, because even the flu every year takes 20, 30, 40,000 people. And yet we haven't been quarantined because of that. So, I mean,
there was a vaccine for that reduces most of it.
Right. And it's not as contagious.
Yeah.
And it's not asymptomatic. People could be carrying around this disease, this virus.
Yeah. I mean, right. There is something different with this than there is with the other things. Okay. Let's make sure we're going to check in with everybody. Susan, you have any thoughts on what we've been discussing?
Well, it's fascinating to hear everybody's stories and how you're coping, and then, you know, trying to see what other partnerships we can get Sunday. I work out of Tech Hive in Midtown, and which is of course closed, and our cafe is closed. And the baker for the cafe has partnered with a coffee shop in Collinwood called Six Shooters. And so Sunday I went and had biscuits and got a cup of coffee from them, and then went down to the marina to walk around. And so these little combinations of people, it'll be interesting to see what we all just think of. It was reminding me of when the RNC came, and and there's all this nervousness about what was going to happen, and we were expecting riots, and then they said, we were expecting riots in Cleveland Glavis, a block party, and there were clowns, and there were jugglers, and there were all those ambassadors and everything. We have so much creativity and joy here. I'm very curious about how it's all going to come together. I probably would not have met you all if I had to get to Corky and Lenny's this morning. I wouldn't have driven over. So we'll see what happens. My own business has been hit very hard. Job seekers are frightened and discouraged. And I have the Job Search Center. I work with midlife professionals in transition, or those who want to be. So if you know people who want to change a career, now is actually a good time. But the whole hiring landscape has changed. Employers don't want to post their jobs right now, because even though they have them, because they just don't have the capacity to deal with them all. So they're finding people to hire through networking, but people aren't getting together. So it's very little tweaks that we can make to make it seem a little more human, but it's quiet.
Somebody's typing.
Harry, mute yourself.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks for asking, Tom.
Absolutely. We're glad that you're here, Susan. Thank you. And I'm especially glad because if you wouldn't have made it to Corky's, we would have never met you.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely. How about it, Chrissy? Any ideas? Can you tell us what's going on in your part of the world as it affects this virus?
I live in the health insurance industry. So, I mean, right now, the one thing you don't do during a pandemic is cancel your health insurance. But because we work with employers most of the time, what we're seeing is transitioning of employees, furloughing of employees, and organizations that have never laid someone off in their 30, 40 years of business are now doing that. So we're holding their hand through that process. For me, life has gotten a little more interesting now that the kids are at home being homeschooled by my husband. I don't have to drive anywhere other than to my office. So I know, Jeff, you're laughing. It's great. I love my gig right now that he does it and I don't have to. But dealing with employees, getting them in and out of the building, following some of the regulations that we have, it's a little bit challenging as an employer right now with people. So we've kept most of our people working remotely. Some are here, but I can tell you this, I'm loving the no traffic getting to my office every morning. And I don't know that I would be able, I'd be able to make it to Corky and Lenny since I'm in Akron. So the one thing I do not miss is 271 at all.
Right. 271.
Chrissy, I've got a question, and I don't know if you've met Mike, he's with Brooks and Stafford.
Okay.
So I know the governor, to some extent, I know that he said that the health insurance companies would defer payments.
Yes.
How are most of them handling recovering those? Are they going to ask for a lump sum? Or are they going to prorate it? Or have you had any indication yet?
So it depends on the carrier. So some of them are lumping it on the back end and saying that you need to pay for April premium by June. So as long as it's done by June, whether it's a lump sum or it's a trickle, or they're letting you defer one premium, like they're letting you defer April to May, May to June, and then catching everything up, hopefully in June. But what we've seen is a couple of carriers have pushed to July as well. Right. What you need to make sure you remember is that if you defer your premium, they're not paying your claims. They're not charging you anything from an EOB standpoint, but they're holding your claims to be paid. So
they're holding them, but as long as you catch up.
As long as you pay them, yes. But anybody that just thinks, oh, I'll just cancel and I won't have to pay it, You don't have to pay it, but they don't have to pay your claims either. So just
Right.
remember that.
No, I understand. And that I appreciate that. I mean, I guess I assumed that would be the case, is they were going to just retroactively not pay. And that's something I've always told I'm an attorney and I work with families with kids with disabilities. And I've always told clients, don't rush to pay your medical bills. Talk to your insurance company first.
Yeah, at least 3 times. Wait till you get the angry notice. The really angry one.
Exactly. So, yeah, so you and I are on the same page with that. And it's just, so, that's a great piece of information. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you, Harry. I want to make sure we hear from everybody. So let's give equal time. Marty, how has this affected, I know you have a couple, 3 different jobs that you handle, all of them really well. If you could tell us how this is affecting you.
Well, it's changed dramatically. In real estate, we don't have open houses anymore. Everything is virtual. Everything's online. So it slows the process down, and it changes it because I've had 2 possible listings put on hold because of this, because they don't want to deal with this pandemic and they want to wait till it's over with. That might be a while. The current one that I have is a vacant condo, so that wasn't too much of an issue because the owner's not living there. And I'm still learning, and we're having Zoom meetings and online trading daily with Caldwell Banker Smith Realty, how to navigate and host this. And we're not going to the office. All our meetings is by Zoom. And
those are company meetings, not with customers.
Right. And so far I've been lucky. I haven't really had any Zoom meetings with customers. I've been able to do it online and talk over the phone and through Dotloop, where they just click in and view the documents and sign what they need to and get it back to me.
Wow. It has changed things. How about it, Lee? Any ideas on what's going on with us?
Well, from my perspective, I'm finding that it's easier to do Zoom networking in the sense that you can get from meeting to meeting quickly and easy, like Sue said. The travel part's gone. It's just easier to do that. What I find harder and a little frustrating is that I'm such a people person in general. I like sitting across the table from somebody. I like making eye contact. I like having that personal connection. And I'm missing that part of it. So that's challenging. From our business with Shalom and with Right at Home, it's a little challenging also because we need to get into facilities. We need to be able to build those relationships directly with the social workers, with the care managers, with the nursing staffs, with our clients that are in some of those facilities. And so that's challenging. We found creative ways to get around it. Shalom can elaborate much more on that than I can, but it's the connections are harder. I mean, we're making it go and business is still moving forward, but from a personal perspective, I always worry what that's going to mean. I also think, though, we've learned in this whole process that you can do things through telehealth and through telecommunications. So I think that even when this is done, there will be some of those things that will continue on. And if it's done in a balancing way, I think that that's probably a good thing.
That's great. Thank you, Lee. Okay, I want to hear from Rob. Rob, your professional observations of what's happening and how you've been able to cope with your financial business.
A couple of things. First of all, when this all started, we had an uptick in some calls because of the market's gone wild and everybody worried. Right now we're doing more Zoom meetings, but we are starting to open our office to clients, but they have to follow the guidelines. We've seen an uptick in like term life insurance. I think some of this has hit people with their mortality, that need some protection. There's a lot of tragedies we've heard through all this. So we're getting a uptick in life insurance applications. And now I'm starting to get some calls from people that they just want to get into buy a individual stock. And that's really not what I do, because I do the full planning for retirement and college and stuff. And it's like putting all your eggs in one basket. If you have everything else, your base set, fine, go ahead and do that. But some of these calls are coming in. Somebody wants to spend $500. They live on Social Security only and buy a single stock. And I'm like, no, I just can't do that. With the costs I have to charge, I just tell them to go to one of the free sites, Robinhood or E-Trade or one of those, and just use that on their own. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy. And, you know, we keep our office staff employed because we have regular mail that comes in that needs to be taken care of. Some of them are actual contracts and different paperworks. Zoom meetings I've been doing, but I'm finding if I have somebody that wants to invest and we're opening an account, by the time I do all the paperwork and we can do e-signatures, you send it to them and then it just kind of hits a wall a lot of times. Then when you're having that personal face-to-face meeting with someone where you can sit down and, you know, some of it's a trust factor where you're looking at body language. It's just a feeling you get when you're with somebody, whether you trust them or not. So when you're just doing it over the phone or a Zoom meeting, you can only see so much and stuff. So, you know, we're making the best of it. And yeah, it does hurt our income a little bit, but we're still keeping us busy. And we also have like trailing income that's going to keep us afloat.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tom,
I'm sorry.
I just want to give you guys a couple more things, because you guys know my like Marty, I got a couple different things going on, so it's been kind of interesting. The legal business really slowed down, running into some issues that Rob mentioned. People just aren't. First of all, I do some workers' compensation. Nobody's working, so there's no claims being filed there. Similar things with the occasional personal injury cases. Nobody's driving, so there's no claims. And I'm not saying I want people to get hurt. Don't get me wrong, but the phone calls have stopped. And even working with families on the planning needs with disabilities, that's kind of gone on the back burner outside of the educational issues. People are very concerned because their kids, especially the ones with special needs, are not getting the education they're entitled to under federal and state law, but it's a balance. It's a tough thing to do. I feel for the schools. But what's interesting is we were getting our consulting company up and running, and most people here know I partnered with some retired federal agents to consult with current cannabis licensees on potential federal legalization and regulation. That was launching April 1st, and we did launch the website, and things are coming up, but it was going to be a launch at conferences and meetings such as that. So we've had to retool our marketing plan. But what's interesting is we've gotten some calls from potential investors because they see that the government's going to need revenue and jobs, and one place they can get it is by legalizing cannabis at the federal level. There's 20,000 current state licensees, not including dispensaries, that's just cultivators, processors, that they can tax and regulate, and they can create, if it's legalized in more states and more recreational, you can create 100,000 jobs pretty easily. So some investors who we contacted in the past are saying, let's talk. They see the potential that could happen. So, and the other interesting thing, going back to Lee's point, is I mentioned to you guys, I'm doing a little Instacart shopping with my son, because I'd go crazy if I sit in the house. None of us are at risk, and we take the precautions that we need to do. But it's great because I'm seeing people on a daily basis. So there is that human interaction. I mostly do Heinen's in Aurora. You can't find better people than the people work in that store and the stores in general. They're so helpful and
yeah, I love Heinen's.
Yeah, and it's just, you see everybody, you get out for a couple hours a day and puts a few bucks in the kid's account. So
yeah.
Harry, is there a way, I mean, I don't know what your setup there, if you're using a phone, is there a way that you could do your cannabis hemp PowerPoint
Yeah, I mean, I can use my light. The problem is I don't, and I'm like Chris. I've ordered a camera for my desktop. I never had one for the desktop because I always used my Chromebook.
Sure.
Well, my son's in the other room doing virtual school, or I would take the Chromebook and sit it down as well. And the other thing is, my mic I think is a little shaky on the Chromebook. So yeah, I can do that. What I've done in the past, and I did this last week, is when you guys share your screen, I log in twice. I log into the phone. The Zoom meeting with my phone, and I use the video and audio there, and then I just use the desktop for the screen sharing. So I can do something like that, and I've updated it a little bit too.
Sure,
so sure,
that's an excellent presentation.
We can do that.
Whenever you're ready, just let me know.
Because again, as I said, that's one business. Number one, most states where it's legal have determined it's an essential business, because for the most part, 33 states, it's legal at the medical level.
Sure.
So they're saying people need their medicine, so it's essential. Now they've adapted too, is states that would not allow curbside pickup or delivery are allowing that. Again, people need their medicine.
It's a small world that I do websites, of course, and I was contacted by a doctor, and he gave me a term that I never heard before, but I'm sure that you'll recognize this term. It's called certified to recommend.
Right.
You heard that term?
Yeah, well, that's the legal term in Ohio because it's a federally one scheduled drug, which means the federal government says it has absolutely no use and it's highly addictive, which is ridiculous. So you can't prescribe it; you can only recommend it.
Yeah, you recommend, and apparently, he picked a domain name, which I'll be developing in the next few weeks, probably a couple of months. It'll take me to get it done, but it's if you went on Google and type in "get a card," that these days that means a marijuana card.
Right.
And so we decided we're going to use the domain name Get Card Ohio.
Right.
Quick and easy, and everybody will remember it.
I believe one of the biggest ones is OhioMarijuanaCard.com.
Yes, and of course he's already aware of them. They're over in they're not too far from me at Golden Gate or something.
Yeah, they're all over.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. They're all over the place. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, that I'm going to be doing
that's great.
A website. Yeah, I have no idea of any of the things that you know about.
And reach out to me, and we can Zoom with me, your client, and
I did say that one of our members is a lawyer that he's totally up to speed on any of this, and he said he does have a lawyer that he has to run everything by. But if there's any chinks in the armor, I'm going to have him come to you, and you could help him out.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Quick
Okay,
question.
I want to make sure we're running out of time here. I want to make sure to get Chris. Chris, can you hear me? We can't see him.
Absolutely.
Okay, Chris, give us a rundown about how this is affecting you and your business. And Chris sells vinyl windows and doors. To those of you that don't know him, he's also one of our professional members, and I'd like to hear from him. Bring us up to speed on what's happening as far as this coronavirus is affecting your business, Chris, please.
Let's put it this way. Please do not take this the wrong way. This has been a boon to my business. And what's happening is people have gotten afraid, and the investors are buying houses that other people that have gotten nervous. And basically, I'm out for installation. I'm out through to July. And the nice thing about it is I'm out every day. I live in Stowe. For the lady who lives in Akron, I'm out every day.
That's Chrissy.
And people, what?
Chrissy lives in Akron.
Right. I'm out every day. Most of the places I go, the houses are empty, so I don't have to see anyone. I just go to the house, take a look at it, and leave. yesterday I saw 5 houses. And the people that I work for, like I said, a lot of these are empty houses. Even the houses that are occupied, I've had 2 people basically, and this is unbelievable, have forced us to do the job because they have other things going on in their life. And so we just went in and did the job. We made them leave. We went in and did the job, and then they could come home. And my guys are working 6 days a week. So it's been a very, very uplifting thing for me. I don't have to see anybody. They call me, they text me. I go take a look at it and then send them an email and they okay it and I'm done. So nothing has changed on this end whatsoever.
Oh my. Well, naturally, that's great. Congratulations. But for some of us, we're taking a hit.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah.
By the way, Trina redid some things for me and did a wonderful job.
Yeah, she's good.
And I appreciate it.
Sure.
But I was just, like I say, I'm out every day. So, and I'm very fortunate because I don't meet people. I just, go do what I need to do and I'm done.
Yeah, well, that's good. I happen to like seeing people in person, and I'm sort of put off my game when I can't be in the same room and look at them, and not that I'm sizing anybody up or anything, but you get a certain vibe, and I adjust my actions and my speech based on how I'm interacting locally, right in front of, and this, while this is great, this is not the same. It's, I'm glad we're all here. I really am, but it's not like being in the room or us being at Corky's, whereas we can sense things that we can't sense here. But hopefully we'll get back to it. Let's give Isaac a few minutes. Isaac, I'm sorry, Chris, what?
What's amazing to me is, and for the real estate people, the houses are still being sold. There's 2 houses on my street that went up for sale last week. Both of them had, shockingly, and believe it or not, they both had open houses Sunday, and today they're sold.
Wow.
Now, I assume there was nobody in the house. The people left, and then the real estate and the people went in there. I don't know anything about that. But and these houses are in the 190 to 225 range.
And do you know if they sold? My experience has been up in this neighborhood that houses are selling for more than asking.
Yes, that's correct.
In fact, my cousin Deanna's house, she lives in Lyndhurst. She got a whole lot more than asking. It's amazing. And I thought she was just going to have a rough time selling it. But not only that, but it sold in 3 or 4 days. And she got way more than asking. Amazing. Of course, her house, as small as it is, looks like a magazine. Where when you pull in the driveway, the whole thing of it, my mother used to complain about there was knickknacks everywhere. You couldn't even stand anywhere without standing next to 5,000 pictures and different kind of ceramic teacups and the things all over the place. But boy, in the pictures, it looks wonderful. And she was able to sell it right away. Okay, let's see if Isaac, please contribute to what we have going here.
I would be more than happy to.
Thank you.
So I thought of one word that I think summarizes this entire scenario best is adaptability. And it comes down to humanity's will to adapt and to rise to the challenge. Humanity is being challenged, and the business environments are being challenged. The economy is being challenged. And it is an opportunity for people to tap into their creative side of their mind and to use and to think how they can solve their problems based on each and every situation they're in. and learning how much that humans need each other to come together and to use everyone's skills and abilities. And I see that out of the foreseeably negative circumstances, there's a positive light that can come from it, a positive benefit. But as for me, my personal life, I've been growing closer to family. And prior to this, the thing is, Thomas, I sympathize with a lot of people because prior to this, I'd been operating my life without a vehicle for months, hadn't driven anywhere. And so I had a little bit of an early start in adapting to the situation. And it didn't really feel that dissimilar. I started a new job, and then like a few weeks in, this happened, and then I had to leave that job. That was about it. And I'm still regularly seeing my chiropractor, and his practice has remained open as an essential service. He's seeing less patients, which has allowed me more time. That's really important for my overall health. In terms of earning, I've been mindful of clients' importance for the needs for my services as an artist, and which clients in the current circumstance, like I work with a client out in, he does, part of his business is run out of China, and he prints, he has their machines etch his metal products, his coins, and so I'm doing designs for him, but that process had to get halted. But I'm really being careful when I talk to clients to figure out that, I bring up that question more than not. And otherwise, most of the time, I don't have a barrier at all, legal or otherwise, that prevents me from doing work for my clients anywhere. So I have a little bit more flexibility there. I have no employees, and I'm just a freelancer on my own there. But as for my nonprofit, one thing specifically is that I've been choosing to be less active in raising funds because I want to be mindful of those funds being designated towards established organizations with resources that can take immediate action. And I'm not undermining abilities, but I don't yet have that infrastructure in place to really take the action I would want to, though I'll still help wherever I can, wherever I possibly, whatever I can contribute, I will do willingly, for sure.
Very good.
And there's one other thing.
Okay.
I have been attending this amazing, very inspiring conference called the Passion Summit that a friend of mine in Chicago puts together for entrepreneurs, business professionals to ignite the passion for why they started doing what they are doing already, or why they want to pursue something. And the first year I attended as a guest, second year I attended as a speaker, and this is the third year. And I was going to be unable to attend, but he has switched the format over to be virtually run. And as a result, I get to not only attend, but I get to contribute a Zoom conference. He and I are going to have a Zoom conference later on today and record a video to promote the nonprofit. I said, I spoke into existence that I would start during that summit a year back.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And you'll be all set for that video conference with that with that backdrop you made. Good job.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody look at Isaac's backdrop that he used a bed frame. I don't know if you could tell. And
hey, Isaac, what's the name of your nonprofit?
The name of the nonprofit is the Creationist Alliance.
The Creationist Alliance.
And what's their focus?
The focus of my nonprofit is to be a front to launch free creative art spaces for the community, especially welcoming to those on the spectrum and living with mental health challenges, so that they may come participate, make awesome creations, and then the overall community, through specially run programs of our own, can donate towards that cause, donate for those creations, those artworks, and we can raise a lot of support for those people most affected by what I see as a society that doesn't fully understand the opportunity on how to best treat mental health from what I believe is holistic practice, good nutrition, and everything that we've known for thousands of years but are trying to undermine.
Very good. Excellent, Isaac. Thank you so much. I want to, before we're getting towards the end here. It's almost 8:30 if any of you have to get going, but I think we should hear from Jeff on our way out. Jeff didn't get much screen time.
Tom, I also didn't participate yet either.
Okay, well.
I jumped on late.
Okay, then let's, and I see that Trina wants a little bit. So let's hear Jeff, and we'll get Trina and Shalom in before we're done.
I'll be brief. I've been as busy as I've ever been, and I'm changing my business model from break fix to managed services. And this has given me an opportunity to, I think I've read 20 books in the last 2 months. And I actually was looking at my Goodreads list while we were talking. So it looks like I'll have finished my 20th one today.
And what method? Actual book or Kindle?
Audiobooks.
Audiobook. Good for you. Me too. I love that.
So I'm doing audiobooks while I'm doing other things.
Great, thanks.
But moving to managed services means I'll be able to focus on remote support for people more than on-site support. I still have to go to somebody's home or office to set up a computer. Just did a delivery yesterday, and I've got another one I'm doing later on this week. But this will help avoid some of that. And that shift will allow me to put in business systems that I haven't been able to implement before because I haven't had the technologies in my own grasp.
Good. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for participating. Let's hear from Trina, and then we'll get to Shalom. Trina, you had something on your mind.
Oh, no, I was just saying I hadn't gone about the group, how business affects and what we're doing.
Okay.
So, I mean, I work from home anyhow virtually, because people send me documents or I can grab the words from the website or something like that. But a lot of people I used to meet and sit down, they felt better sitting down and talking, and then I took a lot of notes about their business and all that kind of stuff. So I think it has gone down, although doing this virtual has helped a little bit make some connections. And first I wanted to thank Chris. You gotta love Chris. He's no filter. He just like says, what comes to his mind. And he was just really fun. He's like, Trina, now don't take this the wrong way, but in my industry, he's just so funny.
Yeah, Chris is good.
Yeah, I love him. And Isaac, both of my chiropractors are not practicing because of the close contact. So I was just curious how your chiropractor, mine were both told they are not essential. So I just was curious about that.
I do not. That's a good question, Trina, and I don't know to the extent of how he got approved for being non-essential, but I think it's also because his practice is atypical from standard chiropractic care, in the sense he does still have physical contact, but they take measures to work around that. They take measures for sanitary care and spraying tables, and overall they did just get it to work, but also he's been instead of seeing 3 people a time in an enclosed room, he's seeing only 1 person at a time. That's the fundamental change in
okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, Shalom, take it away.
Good morning, friends. So we instituted screening in our offices, for example, just like we've been doing remotely. Before every shift, our caregivers will answer a series of questions about COVID-19. But in our office in person, we're also taking their temperature as they come in, for example, to pick up paychecks, take their sanitation classes. We're teaching more information on infection control, and they're picking up their masks and gloves, the PPE and that. So that's been a big change. And in addition, my staff are working remotely. We have a skeleton crew in the office. We're rotating. But other than that, somebody has to be there to give out the T-shirts. I don't know if you can see this one. This is the COVID-19 T-shirt. That's our fundraiser for the American Red Cross. That's been fun. We raised about 20 grand so far selling the T-shirts at $10 a pop. And then Thursday, I put it in the chat. We'll be entertaining outside of Highland Point Rehab, which is a facility that we have clients there, also cases of COVID inside as well. So we'd be in the parking lot waving through the windows, and we'll see some of the residents. And they're very much looking forward to us joining them. So those are some of the things we're doing. Today, we're starting 2 new clients. There's one woman who was very worried about her husband. He got so much stronger that hospice says, he's not dying in the next 6 months. You graduated from hospice, but he still needs to be bathed. So we're doing some things also like running errands for her to pick up his meds from the pharmacy because she's not able to do that. Also, this means her car gets driven and it's been sitting in the driveway for 2 months, hasn't even been turned on. So anyway, that's some of what we're doing. I'm looking for more clients that would like a caregiver to provide hands-on personal support. And typically our clients have some amount of dementia. They're typically seniors. We do have one client that's about to bring, so in this case, it's a power of attorney. It's a lawyer, actually an estate manager, a little bit like Harry. And she is having her client move out of the facility, partially for safety reasons because of the virus, but she was probably going to do it anyway. And so we're going to basically create a little nursing home just privately for her in a single family, 1-level house, a ranch. And so that's going to be starting next week.
Very good. Yeah, I know, are you in Breckenridge? I know you went in there and introduced yourself.
Right, so they have us on their preferred provider list. I mean, they know basically they wanted to see the amount of insurance that we carry on our staff and on ourselves. They were very impressed with that. But in general, I just go, I try not to backstaff. I don't want to be a staffing agency. I don't want to send in a team when they have a lot of call-ups. I prefer to work one caregiver, one client. It also protects my caregivers because this way I don't have to be like a bumblebee, visiting all the flowers to pollinate. It can cut down on the amount of different homes we're in. So I'm not in there in terms of being taking over a wing or a floor, but on occasion I'll help one patient. Recently we had a client. They have private apartments separate from the main structures, and we were again supporting a woman her husband was getting physical therapy, but he wouldn't do the exercises. And she just needed somebody to sit with him and, talk to him and give him some encouragement. And, for us, it was, if you do the exercise, I'll give you a cookie. And we would sit and have tea together.
That's great. Great story. Okay, before we, if anybody has anything else, it's okay. You could speak up. Just like last week, I'll create this video and send it up to YouTube, and all you guys are going to be YouTube video stars. And you could tell your relatives to come and look at me. I did a Zoom meeting. Go to YouTube and type in The Network Breakfast. There's one video up there, and I looked at it, but apparently Jeff tells me that we have about 6 views, so I only did 1. So I don't know who else is doing that. What happened to Trina? She just waved. Does that mean you're gone, Trina? Apparently. She bailed on us.
Yeah, she waved goodbye.
Okay.
She had to go.
She dropped off too.
And
Okay.
Susan had a meeting to go to also.
Okay.
Hey, Thomas.
I wanted to make sure that I recognize that Chrissy, Scott, Isaac, Marty, Lee, thank you. Rob, thank you. Jeff, thank you. Shalom, extra thank you. Harry, especially, and Chris, who we can't see, but we heard him. He did a good job. We all did a good job.
Yeah.
A little bit. I did a little better this week. Last week, if you watched the video, not too good. I was sort of stumbled along, and but I'll get better. Okay.
Thomas?
Anybody else?
Thomas, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so I had some thoughts on the specifically what you just mentioned, having uploaded these recordings to YouTube.
Okay.
Is there a way that you could put information, call to action, elements in the descriptions of each video to sort of outreach and share the word via YouTube about the network breakfast? Sort of like, yes, we have 6 views, but is there a way to, would you consider that being a good method to share the word about this and bring more people in?
Absolutely. Whatever helps us get the word out that we have a wonderful group here with wonderful people who have a lot to offer, and I think it's important for each of us to get our message out individually and collectively.
Great. So then, should I come across some YouTube videos that can recommend specific information on how to best go about doing that, how to promote that, and how to reach people through those algorithms, then I will get them on their way to you.
Wow, algorithms sounds like Google. Don't they deal in algorithms when they search, or when we search on Google?
Yeah, because Google owns YouTube. So
yeah, Google owns YouTube, right?
Exactly. So there may be specific ways to connect to business professionals specifically.
Okay. So once again, I hope everybody goes to YouTube and see what you look like last week, and then next week you'll be able to see how we did this week, and we'll get a catalog of videos and views, and who knows?
Hey, Tom,
it'll be fun.
Anybody honest? Chrissy, I don't keep the chat up on my screen because I'm on the phone. Chrissy had sent me a question, and I don't have her email. Does anybody have her email?
I have her contact information. I'll email it to you.
Yeah, thanks. I figured it was you, Jeff.
I invited Chrissy, yeah.
Yeah, I just, like I said, because I'm doing it all on the phone right now. I don't keep the chat screen up. As it comes up, I look at it, but then I had to step away for something. So
did Chrissy put her information on the chat? Because I have a thing here. It's called Save Chat.
She had just sent me a question, and I want to get back to her. So.
Oh yeah, here's a note from Marty. He said, I need to go to a office Zoom meeting. And Shalom says, have a good morning, my friends. Lee says, gotta run, bye everyone. Hey, that rhymes. And okay, here's
right.
when Chrissy came on board. She's gone now. I have another
That's
meeting
okay.
I have to get on to. Thank you, Jeff, for the invite. It was
Jeff will
great to
send
meet
it to me.
everyone.
Appreciate it.
Rob Lord said, gotta go. So there's just a handful of us left, and I'm going to save this.
Yeah, I got to go too. So.
Hey, I got a question for Harry and Tom.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys been to Walmart lately?
Yes.
Been to where?
2 days ago.
Walmart.
Yeah, I went to the one in Bainbridge the other day because there's something. They actually sell something called aloe juice, which is in their health food department, but it's good for the horses too. So they sell it by the gallon at Walmart.
I went to the one in Mayfield Heights.
Okay, I was in the one in Aurora on Saturday. The place was packed wall-to-wall people, and they were just letting them walk around. They didn't care.
Well,
And
it's
the
funny,
one in Stowe,
when they put limits, that they had the sign up front that store's limit was 980 people. I'm like, that's absurd.
well, 980 people were in there.
It hasn't been too crowded when I've been in there, but it's, the problem is when you get to that, and they've been maintaining the 6 feet. They're pretty good, though, with having arrows for going down the aisle. So if you go in the flow, you won't cross too much. But
right.
I didn't see an issue with it the times I've been. It's been busy, but not where it's stretching that 6 foot limit.
Harry, you wear a mask?
Sometimes. I'm bad about it. My wife yells at me.
I have it hanging on my dashboard, and then I get in the store and I thought, oh, I forgot to put it on.
Well, my issue is, and it's not even an anxiety thing, I'm just uncomfortable wearing it. And I know that's bad and I'm putting other people at risk, but it's just, I got one of those face shields and it was better. Have you seen those?
You mean the plastic thing?
Yeah, it's not as good as the mask, but I'm more comfortable wearing it.
Sure.
Problem is it gives you, it's like bad eyeglasses. If you get the wrong reflection, you can't see.
Right.
There's no good answer.
Harry,
Again, when I feel that I'm too close to other people, I'll put the mask on. I keep it in my pocket, actually.
Harry, half the people had it, half the people didn't in there.
Yeah, and that's, I would say that at Walmart, there's less people, but when you go to Heinen's, it's probably 75% are wearing it. Certainly all the employees are wearing it.
Right.
I had this discussion with another lawyer. You're going to have some real issues because, let's say you're somebody, I've had clients like this. They have PTSD. They were victim of domestic violence or violence in general, or you have an autistic child who can't wear that mask because of health reasons. Americans with Disabilities Act is going to preclude you from mandating they wear it. Now you're going to have to show that you have a medical condition, but there's going to be some real issues if when a store says you must wear a mask and somebody comes in with their child who can't wear a mask.
Well, Harry, in Menards across the street,
I heard about that.
I'll tell you what, they're talk about lawsuits. They won't let children in there below 16. They're making them stay in the vestibule in a cart.
Yeah, and that was, it's funny because I talked to a friend of mine. I do some business with her as well. And she said that when they went there, they asked for her and her child's ID. And I said, I hadn't done the research, but I believe that's against state law. You can't ask for that except in instances like purchasing alcohol where age is a requirement. So Menards are going to have a big problem. All right, I got to run too, guys. I apologize, but thanks. This was a great meeting.
Thank you, Harry.
Take care, guys.
Hey, Tom.
Yo, Chris.
Have you been to Costco lately?
Yes. Waiting in line to get in.
And they forced you to wear a mask, right?
No. Micro Center did, but not Costco. Micro Center, there was a guy standing at the door, and everybody, so I took it, I put it on, I had it on backwards, and one of the salesmen stopped me and said, "Sir, the blue goes on the outside." So I took it off, I turned around, I don't know, I don't wear masks.
Yeah, you can. The one here in on Route 8, the Costco on Route 8. We went there Saturday, and the line was around the building.
Yeah.
So we left.
Sure. Well, hopefully this won't last much longer. I don't know how much more we could take. I mean, after all, this is America. I'm used to seeing people in masks on the news in China and Korea. And I'm wondering, what's wrong with them? They all got masks on. Now, they made it so we have to wear masks. Now, I don't know. What can we do?
Well, this is just my opinion and my opinion only. There's going to be so many lawsuits out of this that the lawyers are going to make a freaking fortune.
Who gets sued for what?
Well, number one, there's about, from what I understand, the state of Ohio's got lawsuits all over the place. because of all the stuff that they have made you do, which is illegal. And then the stores themselves, there was a lady I saw, I forget what channel it is, because I peruse the TV at night. She says, oh my God, the Civil Liberties lady, she said there's 11 lawsuits right now in the state of Ohio.
You mean somebody is suing the state of Ohio?
That's correct. Because here, Tom, how can Walmart have 9,000 people in their store and the store next door can't even open?
Well, you know, somebody's making this judgment. I heard on the radio that there was a dentist that's allowed to do dental work. It's probably was essential, but you can't go get a haircut. So I think you should allow haircuts if you go by appointment. How about that?
Right. I agree.
If you're looking at it as a danger standpoint, and you're willing to take the chance that your barber's not going to make you sick with a coronavirus, then have your haircut.
Exactly.
Some comedian's going to have a field day. I wish we had a younger Seinfeld. He would create such episodes dealing with these things. You know, how many episodes of Seinfeld are in our thought? You know, yada, yada, yada.
Correct.
And
yep.
What's the difference? It's all pipes when he was peeing in the shower.
Hey, I got to go. My installer's calling me, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Chris. I'll let you know when I get the mic.
Thank you.
Okay, man. So it's down to us four.
And I'm out.
And Scott is out. Thank you. It was great having you here, Scott. Thank you very much.
Sure. Well, we'll see you next week, I hope.
See you next week. We'll be here waiting on you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good luck. Bye.
I'm going to get out too.
Okay. Bye, Jeff. Thanks for
Call
everything.
later. You're welcome.
Okay, Isaac, I'm going to end this. You take care. Good luck. We'll see you next week maybe, huh?
Oh, yeah. I plan to attend every week, actually.
Okay. You're on my email list, so you'll get the email blast. I appreciate it. Thank you, Isaac.
Yep. Thank you.
And I love the bed frame background. Good job. Like a true artist.
It was fun to make.
Okay, here we go. Have a good day, Isaac.
Oh, and Thomas, one more thing.
Okay.
May I share a quick plug to the Passion Summit? It takes place 8 to 4 p.m. virtually May 12th through 13th next week. It's well worth attending. It's actually, I don't know how life-changing it's going to be through this format, but live, it has been life-changing since I started attending. I think it will be of value to some of the members. It's basically a networking meeting, what with long-term speaker topics and connections, and I don't know what the format will be like.
All right. Well, you got it out there, so now it'll be on YouTube forever.
Okay.
Okay, Isaac. Thank you. I'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.